What split-second decision changed your life?
When I saw a woman collapse at the grocery store, I had this voice in my head telling me to help.
I was already running late for a job interview.
But something made me stop.
She wasn't breathing, so I started CPR while someone called 911. My hands were shaking. I'd only ever practiced this on dummies during a course I took years ago.
The paramedics arrived and rushed her to the hospital.
By then, I'd obviously missed my interview, but weirdly, I felt calm about it. What I didn't expect was her husband tracking me down through the store security footage 2 weeks later.
Turns out, she was Nancy Walsh, wife of Dr. Walsh, who owned the biggest cardiology practice in Seattle. She'd had a massive heart attack.
And those 3 minutes of CPR I gave her were what kept her alive until help arrived. Dr. Walsh insisted on meeting me. When I walked into his office, I was stunned to see their whole family there, including Nancy, looking healthy and smiling. They wanted to thank me, but I was just grateful she was okay. Then Dr. Walsh asked about my background. I mentioned losing my nursing job during CO and struggling to find work since.
That's when NY's eyes lit up. Wait, you're a nurse?
I nodded, explaining I was actually heading to an interview at a coffee shop that day. Anything to pay the bills. My savings were almost gone, and I had a 6-year-old daughter to support. Dr. Walsh leaned back in his chair and said, "Well, we happen to need a cardiac care nurse. Starting salary is $95,000. Full benefits." I thought he was joking. He wasn't. But here's where it gets crazy.
During my first week, I noticed a little girl who came in for regular checkups.
Her mom was always stressed about the bills.
The girl, Penny, had a rare heart condition requiring constant monitoring.
One day, Penny had a bad episode in the waiting room. Her heart rate was dangerously high, and she was struggling to breathe. Dr. Walsh was in surgery, but I recognized the signs. It was similar to what my brother had when we were kids. I made a split-second decision to give her a medication I knew would help, then called Dr. Walsh's personal cell. He rushed out of surgery and confirmed I'd made the right call. Penny stabilized within minutes. That night, Dr. Walsh called me into his office. I thought I was in trouble for overstepping. Instead, he offered to pay for my advanced cardiac certification. "You have instincts I can't teach," he said.
2 years later, I run the pediatric unit.
Penny comes in every month for checkups, and her mom doesn't worry about bills anymore. We created a special program for families who can't afford care.
Last week, Nancy brought me coffee during my shift. She pointed to a young resident trailing Dr. Walsh and said,
"You know, that was almost my husband's position." I was confused until she explained. If I hadn't helped her that day, her heart would have been without oxygen too long.
She wouldn't have survived. One person stopping to help changed dozens of lives.
She said, "Mine, yours, Penny's, all these kids you treat now. What split-second decision changed my life?" For me, it happened in the aisle of a grocery store. I was running late, painfully late, for a job interview at a coffee shop. My car had eaten up the last of my gas money just getting there, and I was planning on grabbing a cheap granola bar before heading across town.
My stomach was in knots, not from hunger, but from the weight of everything. Bills stacking up, rent overdue, my 6-year-old daughter depending on me. Nursing jobs had dried up after COVID layoffs, and this interview was the best I could get. That's when I heard it. A sound that wasn't normal.
A dull thud. I turned my head just in time to see a woman collapse near the dairy section. At first everyone froze. A man dropped his basket. Someone gasped. But nobody moved, and then this voice in my head said, "Go." My legs were moving before I could think. She was sprawled on the cold tile, motionless, her face drained of color. I dropped to my knees, pressed 2 fingers to her neck. Nothing. No pulse. "She's not breathing!" I shouted, and that broke the crowd. Someone fumbled for their phone to call 911. My hands were shaking, but muscle memory kicked in. I tilted her head back, locked my fingers together, and started chest compressions. 1, 2, 3. My arms burning, my heart pounding. I'd only ever practiced CPR on a dummy years ago during nursing training.
This wasn't supposed to happen in real life.
Not like this, but I kept going. 30 compressions. 2 breaths. Again and again. I lost all sense of time.
Sirens wailed in the distance, drawing closer. When the paramedics finally burst through the sliding doors, I felt my arms go limp.
They took over, hooked her to monitors, loaded her onto a stretcher. I sat back against the cereal shelf, drenched in sweat, lungs heaving. My interview was long gone, but for some reason, I felt strangely calm. 2 weeks later, a man knocked on my apartment door. I didn't recognize him, but his eyes were red, as if he'd been crying.
"Are you the one who helped Nancy?" he asked. Nancy. The woman in the store. He introduced himself as Dr. Walsh, her husband, owner of the largest cardiology practice in Seattle. He said he'd tracked me down through the store's security footage.
I braced myself for bad news, but then he smiled. She lived, because of you.
The next day, he invited me to his office. When I walked in, Nancy herself was there, looking radiant, alive. Their children were gathered too, hugging me like family.
I wanted to tell them I didn't do anything extraordinary,
that anyone would have stopped. But the truth was, I had almost walked away. Dr. Walsh asked me about myself.
I told him the truth. About losing my nursing job during COVID. About scrambling to pay bills. About the coffee shop interview I'd missed that day. About my daughter. His eyes widened.
"Wait, you're a nurse?"
I nodded. He leaned back in his chair.
"Well, it just so happens we need a cardiac care nurse. Starting salary $95,000. Full benefits." I laughed nervously.
I thought he was joking. He wasn't. On my first week, I noticed a little girl in the waiting room. Penny, 7 years old.
Big brown eyes, always holding her mother's hand.
She had a rare heart condition that kept her in and out of the clinic. Her mom looked exhausted, always worrying about bills, whispering to the receptionist about payment plans. One afternoon, Penny's face went pale, her chest heaving. I rushed over. Her heart rate was spiking dangerously. Dr. Walsh was scrubbed into surgery and couldn't be reached. My mind flashed to my brother's childhood arrhythmias. I recognized the signs. I made a split-second decision, administered a medication, then called Dr. Walsh's personal cell. Minutes later, Penny's heart stabilized. Her mother sobbed into my shoulder, whispering, "Thank you, thank you." That night, I thought I'd be fired for overstepping. Instead, Dr. Walsh called me into his office. He looked at me for a long moment and said, "You have instincts I can't teach. I want to pay for your advanced cardiac certification." 2 years later, I was running the pediatric unit.
Penny was thriving. Families who once worried about bills had access to care through a new program Dr. Walsh and I built together.
My daughter had health insurance, stability, a home. Last week, Nancy stopped by with coffee during my shift.
She pointed toward a young resident shadowing her husband and said, "You know?"
That was almost his position. I frowned.
She smiled softly.
"If you hadn't helped me in that grocery store, I wouldn't be here. My husband wouldn't have hired you. Penny wouldn't have you watching over her."
One choice, one person stopping to help, changed dozens of lives. I swallowed hard, staring at her. She was right. I thought about the voice in my head that day.
The one that said go. It wasn't just CPR that saved Nancy. It was a decision. A split second. And it changed everything. Story, my fiancé declared, "We'll have an open relationship or there's no wedding." I said, "Sounds fair." The next weekend, I went on 3 dates with her friends. When she saw the photos, her panic calls begged me to stop. But by then, I'd already called off the wedding myself. I, 31 male, am sitting here in my empty apartment, wedding invitations piled in the trash, feeling oddly free. Weeks ago, my entire life plan imploded. Wedding was supposed to be in 4 months. Now there's no wedding, no fiancé, and honestly, I'm good with it. Been with Delaney, 29, for 4 years. Engaged for 1. Thought I knew her.
Classic mistake, right?
2 Fridays ago, she sat me down for a serious talk.
I'm thinking wedding jitters, vendor issues, whatever.
Nope. Trevor. I've been doing a lot of thinking. She started that tone. That means trouble about us. About marriage. About what I need to be fulfilled.
I waited. She liked dramatic pauses.
I want an open relationship.
I blinked.
Come again. An open relationship.
Ethical non-monogamy.
It's very common now.
Very healthy for modern couples. Delaney, our wedding is in 4 months.
She leaned forward, grabbed my hands. Exactly. Before we commit to forever, I need to know I won't feel trapped, restricted. I need freedom to explore connections if they arise naturally. So, you want to date other people? We would have the freedom to date other people, she corrected.
If the opportunity presents itself, it's not about actively seeking it out, just being open to life's possibilities. I pulled my hands back. And if I say no, her face hardened.
Then there's no wedding. I can't marry someone who wants to control me. Control her by wanting monogamy in our marriage. Let me get this straight, I said slowly. Either we open our relationship, or you're calling off the wedding. I need to know you respect my autonomy, she said. Here's the thing. Delaney had been getting into these self-discovery podcasts lately. Following these influencers who talk about expanding your consciousness and not limiting your potential, she joined this women's empowerment group that met Thursdays. Suddenly, she was using words like ethical non-monogamy and relationship anarchy. But what really clicked was her mentioning her group friend Astrid, who had an open marriage. Astrid was always bragging about her connections and how evolved her relationship was. Delaney hung on every word. So this is about Astrid? I asked. This is about me, she snapped. About what I need. God, Trevor, try to evolve a little. I sat there processing. 4 years deposits paid, families invited, and she drops this ultimatum 2 Fridays before we're supposed to finalize the catering. Okay, I said finally. Her face lit up. Really? Oh, babe, I knew you'd understand. You're so. We'll have an open relationship, I continued. Starting now, both of us. Equal opportunity, she beamed. Yes, exactly. Though, I mean, you're so busy with work and you're not really the type to, But yes, theoretically, both of us. Theoretically, she thought I'd sit home while she explored connections. Sounds fair, I said. That night, I updating my dormant dating profiles. If we're playing this game, we're both playing. Saturday morning, Delaney went to brunch with her empowerment group. I went to the gym. Her friend Chloe, 28, was there. We'd always gotten along. She'd even said once that Delaney was lucky to find a stable guy like me. Hey Chloe, I said between sets. Trevor, how's wedding planning? Actually, I explained the situation. Her eyes widened. She did what? 2 months before your wedding? 4 months, I corrected. But yeah, we're open now, both of us. Chloe stared. That's wow. How do you feel about that? Exploring my options, I said. Actually, want to grab coffee after this? Catch up? She hesitated, then smiled. You know what? Yeah, let's do it. Coffee turned into lunch. Lunch turned into walking around the farmer's market. Chloe was funny, smart, actually listened when I talked. Posted a pic of our coffee cups with great catching up with an old friend. That evening, Delaney's book club friend, Mira 30 Fondiem. Hey, saw you're embracing new relationship dynamics. Good for you. Drink sometime. Sunday had drinks with Mira. She was going through her own breakup. We commiserated. She posted a story of our cocktails. Tagged me. By Sunday night, I'd scheduled dinner with Piper, 27F, one of Delaine's yoga friends who'd always been flirty at parties. Monday morning, my phone exploded. Update 1. The meltdown was epic. Monday, 7:00 a.m. I'm making breakfast when Delaney storms into the kitchen. Phone in hand. What the hell is this? She shoved her phone in my face. Chloe's Instagram story? Us laughing at the farmer's market. Coffee with a friend, I said, flipping my eggs. And this Mira's cocktail story. Drinks with a friend. And this one of Piper's friends had posted about seeing us at dinner. Dinner with a friend. Want some eggs, Trevor? She actually stomped her foot. What are you doing? I turned, spatula in hand. Exploring connections. Being open to life's possibilities. You know what we agreed to? We didn't agree to this. To what? Dating. That's literally what an open relationship is. Not with my friends. There it was. Your friends are off limits. I asked. Was that in the rules? You didn't establish. It's obvious you don't date your partner's friends. Everyone knows that. Everyone like Astrid. Didn't she date her husband's coworker? Delaney's face went red. Like, that's different. How? Because it is. You're doing this to hurt me. I'm doing this because you demanded an open relationship, I said calmly. These women reached out to me. We're all single adults in an open relationship situation. What's the problem? The problem is you're being vindictive. I'm being open to possibilities like you wanted. She grabbed her phone, furiously typing. I'm calling Chloe right now. This is unacceptable. Cool. I'm having breakfast with her tomorrow. You can talk to her then. What? Yeah, we really connected. Might be something there. Delaney stared at me like I'd grown another head. You can't be serious. Dead serious. This open thing. Great idea. Really opened my eyes to what's out there. She stormed out, but the text started immediately. We need to talk about boundaries. This isn't what I meant. You're purposely misunderstanding. Chloe is off limits. Answer me, Trevor. This is manipulation. I responded once at work. Following your communication style. keeping things light and open. That afternoon, I get a call from my buddy Keith. Dude, Delaney's losing her mind in the group chat. What did you do? Took her up on her open relationship offer with her friends. They reached out to me. Free market, baby. Keith laughed. This is incredible. She's saying you're weaponizing polyamory. I'm just evolving, Keith. Growing, not limiting my potential. You're evil. I love it. But here's where it got interesting. That night, Delaney came home with the rules. Actual printed rules for ethical non-monogamy. 1. No dating each other's friends. 2. No posting on social media. 3. No dates on weekends reserved for primary partner. 4. Must approve all dates in advance. 5. Veto power over any connection. These are standard.
She's standard. Where did Astrid give you these?
It's from the Ethical Non-Monogamy Foundation.
I googled it.
No such thing existed.
Delaney, you can't make up rules after the fact.
You said open relationship or no wedding. I agreed.
Now, you want to control who I see and when. It's about respect. Respect. You threatened our wedding to get your way.
Where was respect then?
I was being honest about my needs, and I'm being honest about mine. I need to explore these connections.
Isn't that what you said?
Don't you respect my autonomy?
She clutched the papers. This isn't how it's supposed to work. How's it supposed to work?
You date hot guys while I sit home?
No. I mean, you're supposed to be more selective.
I am being selective. I'm selecting people I connect with.
My friends? Great women. You have good taste in friends. Tuesday morning got a text from Chloe. Delaney called me screaming for 20 minutes. Still on for breakfast, me? If you're comfortable, no pressure.
Oh, I'm coming. This is the most interesting thing to happen all year.
Breakfast was illuminating.
Turns out Delaney had been talking about opening the relationship for months in their friend group.
She'd already been texting some guy from her pottery class. She showed us his pics. Chloe said kept saying how you'd never find out because you're not the jealous type and too trusting pottery class guy. Of course, his name's Stellan.
He's like 25 man bun. Talks about his art constantly. When was she planning to tell me about him?
After you agreed to open things up, she figured you'd be so grateful she still wanted to marry you that you'd agree to anything. I laughed. Actually laughed. What's funny?
Chloe asked. She played herself.
Set up this whole thing thinking I'd be the grateful, boring fiancé while she dated around.
Didn't expect me to actually participate. Are you? Chloe leaned forward.
Actually participating, or is this revenge? Honestly, started as calling her bluff, but now I looked at her. I'm realizing maybe I've been settling for Delaney, for someone who'd threaten our wedding to date other people.
Chloe nodded. She's always been entitled.
We love her, but girl thinks the world revolves around her.
What else has she said?
Oh, honey, how much time you got? Update 2. Nuclear. She went absolutely nuclear. After breakfast with Chloe, I made a decision. But first I had to see how deep this went. Wednesday, Delaney tried a new approach.
Love bombing.
Came home to candles, dinner made, wearing the dress I bought her last anniversary.
Hey babe, she purred.
Thought we could have a romantic evening. Just us. Can't. I said, setting down my gym bag, meeting Piper for trivia night. The mask slipped for a second before she caught herself. Oh, well, maybe after. Maybe. Don't wait up, Trevor. Sweetie, I think we need to reconnect. This whole thing has gotten out of hand.
How so? Well, we haven't been focusing on us.
The wedding's in 4 months.
3 months, 3 weeks actually, if it's still happening. She froze. What do you mean?
Well, you said open relationship or no wedding. I'm exploring what open relationship means for me.
Might change things.
Change what things?
My perspective on marriage.
On what I want?
Her voice went shrill.
Are you threatening me? I'm being honest about my journey.
Isn't that what you wanted?
Honesty, growth, not like this. No. How then? She actually stamped her foot.
You're supposed to support my growth while mine stays static.
You don't need growth.
You're already boring, safe, predictable.
She flinched. Those were definitely words she'd used with her friends. I didn't say that. Chloe mentioned you did multiple times to multiple people. The color drained from her face.
Chloe's lying.
Mira confirmed it.
So did Piper. You're turning my friends against me.
I'm having conversations with interesting women. They're sharing perspectives. Opening my eyes to what? To the fact that my fiancé has been planning to cheat on me with Pottery Stellan for months. Silence. Beautiful. Damning silence. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, let me refresh your memory.
I pulled out my phone, showed her the screenshot Chloe sent. Delaine's own messages in their group chat. All about Stellan, how hot he was. how she was finally ready to explore her sensuality, how she just needed to get Trevor on board. That was private. So was our monogamous relationship until you decided it wasn't. She rallied, switching tactics. Fine. Yes, I found someone attractive. That's why I was honest with you instead of cheating.
You mean you wanted permission to cheat? It's not cheating if we agree.
Did we agree or did you threaten?
Me? I gave you a choice. Ultimatum. The word is ultimatum. You're twisting everything.
I'm seeing everything clearly for the first time. She started crying, but not sad tears.
Angry, frustrated tears.
The kind when a toddler doesn't get their toy. This isn't fair.
You're ruining everything. I'm participating in the relationship structure you demanded. With my friends, who are lovely people, by the way. Really supportive. Mira especially.
She's been through something similar.
Her ex also tried to force an open relationship.
Stop talking to them. No. I'm telling you to stop, and I'm telling you no. Open relationship. Remember my autonomy? Thursday came with the real escalation. I woke up to 73 text messages, not exaggerating. Screenshots of every text Chloe, Mira, and Piper had ever sent complaining about their boyfriends. Old grievances, petty complaints taken out of context, made to look like they were terrible people. See? Her 73rd text read, "These are the women you're choosing over me."
Toxic backstabbers.
I screenshotted everything, sent it to the group. Me? Heads up, Delaney sending me your old messages trying to make you look bad. The responses were immediate. Chloe, she's doing what? Are you kidding me? I'm done.
Trevor, you free tonight?
We need to talk that evening. Met all three at a wine bar. They were livid. She's been spiraling in our group chat. Chloe said, demanding we stop seeing you, threatening to uninvite us from the wedding.
What wedding? I said, I'm calling it off tomorrow. They stared.
You're serious? Mira asked.
Dead serious. This isn't about the open relationship anymore. It's about who she is.
Someone who threatens and manipulates to get her way, then loses it when others play by her rules. Good for you, Piper said. She's always been like this.
We just accepted it. Why?
They exchanged looks because Chloe said slowly, she's exhausting to fight. Easier to just go along until now. Mira added, you standing up to her? It's making us realize we don't have to take her crap either. She created her own problem. I said, pushed for something she thought only she'd benefit from.
Classic Delaney. Remember her 30th birthday?
Piper laughed. Demanded we all go to that expensive resort, then complained we didn't chip in enough for her spot when she made us all bridesmaids, Chloe added. Then tried to dictate our hair, makeup, weight, and plus ones. Wait, I stared. Oh yeah, sent us inspiration photos of skinny models. Said she wanted cohesive photos. The stories kept coming. Years of entitled behavior they'd tolerated. By the end of the night, I wasn't just done with the wedding. I was done with her.
Friday morning I made the calls. VU partially refundable.
Catering lost the deposit.
Photographer understanding kept half. Delaney didn't know yet.
She was at her empowerment breakfast with Astrid. Perfect timing. I packed my things, not dramatically, just efficiently.
My stuff, my records, my grandmother's china she'd always hated. Loaded my car, left my key, and one printed page on the counter. Delaney, you were right.
We shouldn't restrict ourselves or our potential. After exploring this open relationship you insisted on, I've realized my potential doesn't include marrying someone who uses threats to get their way. The wedding is cancelled. Vendors have been notified. You wanted freedom to explore connections with Stellan. You have it permanently. I'll be staying with Keith while we sort out the apartment. My lawyer will contact you about recovering wedding deposits you didn't contribute to. Thank you for opening my eyes to what I really want in a partner. Someone who doesn't need ultimatums to communicate their needs. Trevor P.S. Your friends are wonderful people.
I see why you were so upset. Upset. I connected with them. They deserve better too.
I was at Keith's when the calls started. 52 of them. Didn't answer a single one. But the texts were art. Final update. The aftermath was everything I expected and more. Within an hour of finding my letter, Delaney had cycled through all 5 stages of grief, plus a few she invented. Trevor, answer your phone. This is a joke, right? You can't cancel our wedding without discussing it. I'm calling the venues myself. They said you already canceled. WTF? You're having a breakdown. Come home so we can talk. This is abusive behavior. I'm calling your mother. Your mom says she understands completely. What did you tell her?
Stellan means nothing to me.
We can be monogamous. I'll delete his number. Already deleted. See? Please come home.
We've invested 4 years. You're throwing away our life over a miscommunication. I'll go to therapy. I'll go to couples counseling.
I made an appointment Tuesday at 3. Trevor, please. This is because of those, isn't it? Chloe, Mira, and Piper. Are you asking you? They're probably laughing at you.
They just want to hurt me.
I'm uninviting them from everything. Your brother just told me you're actually serious. This is insane. Over an open relationship I didn't even want. That last one made me laugh out loud. Keith saw it too. Didn't even want it, bro.
She threatened your wedding.
Gaslighting 101. I said, reality is whatever makes her the victim. Saturday afternoon, she escalated. Started calling my family, my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister. The script was the same.
Trevor's having a mental breakdown.
He's been manipulated by predatory women. He needs an intervention.
My mom called me laughing. Laughing. Honey, Delaney just spent 20 minutes telling me you're in a cult.
The cult of common sense? She says, 3 women have brainwashed you into calling off the wedding. No. 1 woman convinced me to call it off. Her when she demanded an open relationship to date her pottery guy. Pottery guy.
Long story. Short version.
She wanted permission to cheat. Thought I'd be too boring to actually date anyone myself. Oh, honey. I never liked her. What?
Mom, you always said she was lovely.
I said she seemed lovely. Different thing. Your father and I had a bet on how long it would last. Mom, what?
She treated you like an accessory, not a partner. We were just waiting for you to see it.
You could have said something.
Would you have listened?
Fair point.
Sunday brought the flying monkeys. Her whole empowerment group started messaging me. Astrid, the open marriage guru, sent a novel about how I was weaponizing polyamory and abusing the sacred trust of ethical non-monogamy. I responded, Astrid. She gave me an ultimatum.
I accepted. Then she got mad when I actually participated.
That's not ethical anything. That's manipulation. Astrid, you deliberately hurt her by dating her friends. They reached out to me.
Also, in your open marriage, didn't you date your husband's co-worker? Because you did it. Astrid has blocked you. But the best part, the pottery guy. Oh, Stella and Mira sent me screenshots Tuesday. Apparently, Delaney had gone nuclear on him too. Showed up at a studio, declared she was finally free to explore their connection.
His response, what?
I have a girlfriend? Turns out all those flirty pottery class interactions, just him being friendly. He was happily partnered. Had been the whole time. Delaney had built an entire fantasy relationship that existed only in her head. According to Mira, she had a complete meltdown in the studio, screaming about mixed signals, led on wasted time.
They had to escort her out.
The instructor banned her from class. Mira texted, said she was creating a hostile environment.
I'm deceased. Wednesday I got a formal email from her.
Trevor, I've had time to reflect on recent events. I acknowledge I perhaps didn't communicate my needs as clearly as I could have. I'm willing to forgive your overreaction and work through this together. However, there are conditions. 1, you must cut contact with Chloe, Mira, and Piper immediately. 2, we restart wedding planning with a renewed focus. 3, you apologize to my family for the embarrassment.
4, we attend couples counseling.
I found one who specializes in male emotional immaturity. 5, you acknowledge your part in this misunderstanding. I believe we can move past this stronger than ever. Love conquers all. Delaney. P.S. I'll need the apartment Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the division. You can have weekends. I forwarded it to my lawyer with 1 word, evidence. Replied to her, no.
Her response was immediate. No, that's all you have to say?
No. Me. Yes, Trevor.
This is not a joke.
Neither was your ultimatum. Neither is my decision. Move on, Delaney. I have with my friends. Actually, no. I'm not dating any of them. Chloe's seeing someone new.
Mira's focused on her career, and Piper just wanted to support a friend going through a tough time.
They're good people who deserved better than how you treated them. Then why? Because you showed me who you are. Someone who threatens to blow up our life to get your way. Someone who plans to cheat but wants permission first.
Someone who loses their mind when others play by rules you created.
I want a partner, not a dictator. I'm not a dictator. I'm a woman who knows what she wants. What you want is control over me, over them, over every situation. Good luck with that. You'll regret this when you're alone and realize what you threw away. I threw away someone who threatened our wedding to date other people. I'll live with that. The last I heard, she'd moved back with her parents, still posting about toxic men who can't handle strong women and surviving narcissistic abuse.
Her friends, former friends, have been great.
Not romantically, just as people. We grabbed dinner last week, all of us, and laughed about the whole thing. She's telling everyone you're dating all three of us, Chloe said.
Yeah, like some weird harem situation. Plot twist, Piper added.
We're all just friends who realized we had terrible taste in friends before. Speak for yourself.
Mira laughed.